Today I will tell you that the people at the base of the pyramid have come together and they have saved over 6.5 billion shillings from their businesses.
She wears lots of titles and I can't be juggling between those titles.
Over 60% of the young people that we work with own land in their names, and it's from their own farms.
She's like transforming agriculture in her own way.
The year 2030 is going to be an exciting year for us. We shall have reached our mark of 1 million youth. Our success will be measured if each of those youth is earning at least 3.6 million per month.
So, Gudie Leisure Farm, where does it start from? What's the story?
Yeah, it starts from the naming, Gudie Leisure Farm. We wanted to ensure that people who are engaged in farming find it pleasurable to be in farming. And here where we are standing, this is our talent show ground. Every first Sunday of the month, we are here as farmers, enjoying songs that are educational regarding farming. So we welcome people to come and enjoy music from farmers.
But do farmers also do music?
Yes. Okay. I can sing the entire process of deworming a chicken.
Okay.
I can sing the entire process of organizing the eggs. We have a studio here where we record that music. We have different youth that compose this music in different languages. We mainly do that in 12 languages. Yes.
Okay.
But that aside,
what inspired you to start this farm?
Yeah, this farm was born in the year 2008. In 2008, I was doing my postgraduate doctorate at George Washington University. And I used to read a lot. And I found out that most of the things that we were reading were coming from other countries, not necessarily African countries. And I kept saying, is it possible that us as Africans are not contributing to the body of knowledge? What have we done that people can learn from? So I decided that I wanted to do a transformational journey that is targeting youth at the base of the pyramid.
Why youth specifically?
I thought that youth have a longer life than adults, and then they would be able to pass it on to their children. Actually, I was targeting their children, but I thought starting with the youth, they will be in reproductive age, and whatever they have learned that has worked for them, they'll pass it on to their children. And then we have a new generation of farmers from a knowledge point of view. From my experience as a university don, I saw many researches being presented, very wonderful knowledge, but I kept asking, how does this knowledge reach the real farmer who needs it most? So I said I need to have a place with low entry barriers. You see, most of the training institutions, you say you have to finish S4, you have to have this grade.
True.
So I said we need an institution that doesn't have any barrier. I can come in the way I am. I can come and learn in my language. I can do something practical that doesn't require a lot of English, which I actually missed. So this is how it was born, to target youth at the base of the pyramid. And I also try to look at the different challenges that they have. First of all, they have space challenges. They have many money challenges. They have market challenges. So the entire model was built around solving challenges of people at the base of the pyramid. Now, in terms of space, we chose enterprises that do not require a lot of space and also have a short time span and can earn money on a daily if properly synchronized. Then we are also looking at the value chain linkage so that even if you are doing poultry, we actually have youth whose job is only brooding and then they pass on to other ones. So they are staying with chicken for only 1 month or even 2 weeks and passing it on to others so that they do not have to be with somebody's money, assuming this money was borrowed for a very long time. Then we also said we have to train each segment. It has got to have specific knowledge that they require. If you are raising your maize, because the feed is very important, how do you raise the maize? Under what conditions for you to be able to make money? Because everyone in the value chain must go home with money, must go home smiling. So that was very important for us as well, to have knowledge. So we have manuals that are tailored for each level of the value chain. And these manuals are in English, but they can also be translated in different languages. We have even gone ahead to translate them in languages like Banyamulenge language, because we are also training refugees.
Refugees, yes.
We have gone into Swahili, although those may not necessarily be languages of our regions. We focus on the 12 sub-regions of this country. Then we also said, let us learn from other people's technologies and bring them into our farming that we can manage. But not forgetting, looking at things that are easy to be done by an ordinary person. If I ask an ordinary person, plant a tree, plant a moringa tree like that one, it doesn't cost you much. This is one seed. One seed became that tree. But I can pick leaves for my small chicken farm of 100 every day, and the tree will still remain. And then I can also sell the seeds to make the oil, but I can also use them to purify my water for feeding my chicken. So we're looking at quick wins with the different technologies that are already known out there.
Doctor, when I look around the farm, because you've given me the inspiration behind it, but this feels so personal, you know, the farm, everything around it, it feels so personal. Could there be something personal that made you to start this farm?
No, for me, this farm was my way of paying it forward. When I was doing my postdoc, I realized how blessed I was among so many people. I looked at what is it that people want to achieve in their life. At one point, you want to finish your studies, even 1 degree. Even that diploma, that certificate means a lot. I had finished my PhD. People want to marry, people want to have children, people want to have a car, people want to have a home. I had ticked on all those boxes. And I said, God, what can I do to give back? It is my way of giving back, and that's why I'm targeting people at the base of the pyramid.
Youths, women, and refugees.
Yes, and those youths that come here, we try by all means to look for funds to have them incubated for free.
For free?
Yes, we have so far incubated 388,513 youth, because we are targeting people that have been left out. If you are saying you are going to charge them, they'll have no capacity to pay for it. So we look out for partners. But we started by using our own funds. Then we look out for partners to support us in this journey. We believe they are going to create a new generation among the people in the base of the pyramid that are taking charge of their lives, taking charge of their children's lives. Today, I will tell you that the people at the base of the pyramid have come together. They have saved over 6.5 billion shillings from their businesses. But when we started 16 years ago, they were saying, we have no money, we have no money. So working on the mindset for them to appreciate that even with the little, you can make a difference. That was a very important thing. If you have 10,000, what can you use it for? Because our businesses can start even with 5,000. You can start by growing indigenous vegetables. After 3 weeks, dodo, after 3 weeks you sell it. Now that becomes 10, that becomes, telling them that you can move slowly, because there is nobody who loves a poor person. There is nobody, even your parents may not be comfortable with you when they are poor and you are poor. So no one is going to lend a poor person. That one we should all agree. Because you are not sure if they will pay back. So the poor person has to work within their means to raise their status to a point when they become attractive Today, our youth are attractive. The banks are lending them, but they had to first build their profile. And it's difficult when you are in a situation to bring yourself out. You need someone to kick you until you move. So that was my job. My job was to kick these young people to start being proactive, to use the little they have, to save on the time they have. Because some of them started with energy as their investment.
True.
You have learned something, you have the energy, you can work on someone's farm. After you have started earning, you now start buying yourself your chicks. Yes, so knowing the value of growing small, knowing the value of trust, we use trust currency in what we do. We are able to get things on credit and say, I'm going to pay after 1 month. We are able to go to our saving groups and say, lend me money to buy chicks. I need 300,000 to buy 100 chicks. And the saving group knows that you are going to pay back. So the trust is something that holds our network together.
Okay, so you mentioned that you go at the base of everything. That's the youths, the women, and the refugees. Of course, I'm not going to ask you how do you select the refugees, but which criteria do you follow to recruit these youths and the women to be part of your incubation? Now,
We are targeting districts that are seen to be poor based on OBOS, Uganda Bureau of Statistics, the reports they release. Then we get an MOU with those districts. We have an MOU with the Ministry of Agriculture because what we are doing is agriculture related. Then we also have an MOU with the Office of the Prime Minister, allowing us to work with refugees if they are in the districts where we are. So we report to the district leadership, and then they are able to give us the production officer and a community development officer. And we ask, within your district, which parish does not perform well, which parish has poor people. So we pick from parishes that are ranked as poorest within the district. Because us, what we do, we believe in paying it forward. You are trained for free, you get knowledge that transforms you. You have an obligation of training another 100 at minimum on your farm. We are a ripple effect in terms of how we do our work. But again, we also have people that may want to train themselves on their own. And that is the reason we have manuals, which you can read on your own.
You give them out still for free?
For the youth who come here for training, but for those that are not in our target, they buy the manuals. So with this manual, you can now learn on your own. But again, there are also handouts that you can also use. I just want to learn how to breed chicken. I just want to learn how to mix feeds. You don't have to carry the entire manual. But we also went ahead and identified what are the simple businesses one can run in poultry. Of course, we have other value chains that we do. So we have 155 potential businesses somebody can run. But someone says, no, for me, I'm in poultry. What are my different businesses that I can run? So we just go and say, okay, where is the poultry section? What are the different businesses that I can run under poultry? Okay, I can do broilers, I can do live birds, I can do eggs, I can do legs. So all those businesses have been curated and we have content around those businesses. So as a youth, you will choose based on your circumstances. I can say I have 100,000. With 100,000, if you have a small stove, you can start Rolex business. True. If you have more, then you can go for a bigger business. True. You can have a bigger stove, and then you are able to make chips and chicken. Yeah, so you start with what you have. That's very important. But you also have access to knowledge. We run training every Monday to Friday. We have a virtual training. Of course, that one eliminates some people who chose to buy phones that are not smartphones, they will be left out. But they made the choice at some point. So we say we want to educate people so that they can participate in the knowledge economy. The youth that we train should be able to also benefit from training. Once you have trained the 100 for free, you start training for money. People can pay you 1,000. If you have 100 people learning how to raise black soldier fly, that money goes into the pocket. But then we also believe in earning from the market economy. Have something, take to the market. Take to the market that egg. Take to the market that chicken, that chick, okay? Don't appear in the market as a buyer only, consumer only. Have something that you're selling. And then the third way of earning is earning money from your money. If you have money and you haven't thought through what you want to use it for, put it in the group, let it be lent to other people. The money will be making money for you instead of keeping it in your pocket. It can't grow from your pocket, unfortunately. If you are not lucky, it will even get out of the pocket. The other thing that we focus on is ensuring that we have inclusion, of course. We are targeting 70% women, and we try by all means to make conditions comfortable for these women. A woman is allowed to come with her baby.
Here?
Yes.
How long does the training take?
Our training takes 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Yes.
That's more than enough.
So if there was somebody going to say, don't go for training because you produced, we say, no. Bring the baby. We have a caretaker. We also do a lot regarding digital inclusion. Our youth should be able to use digital tools to manage their businesses, but also to sell themselves. They can. We have an ICT lab. I don't know if we shall be able to visit it anyway, but they learn how to have a digital plot. You may not be easily identifiable based on where you stay, because many people say, go to that greenhouse, pass the tree. But if it's not your home, you cannot define like that. Exactly. But they can find you on the internet. You can have your lovely small farm on the internet. You can sell your egg, you can sell your chicken on the internet. But for you to do that, you have to have a digital plot.
True.
It can be your YouTube account, it can be your Instagram, it can be your whatever it is, Facebook, etc. But once you have that, that's not enough. You need to be able to develop the content. Is it a picture? Is it a graphic? Is it a video? Is it a voice? So we spend time training our youth to be able to have content that they can put in their digital plot, so that when the customer comes, the digital customer comes, they'll be able to get and know where to find them.
Dear viewer, I'm just in the studio of Gudie TV. I'm live, not live like per se, but I'm in their studio, and this is amazing. This is amazing, you know. They have, you can follow them on their YouTube channel, that is Gudie TV, but also on TikTok and other forums. The reason she's just explaining to you why she put up this, it's because it's part of the training. You know, most of you farmers, the problem you have is you want to do things like the way our grandmothers and fathers used to do them. The world has changed, you know, and this is just a testimony. Grab your phone, make use of it, okay? Just passing the word of mouth isn't enough anymore. You need to go on the internet, let people know what you're doing. Isn't that so, Doctor?
That's true. You know, I'm the first doctor of ICT in this country.
What?
So I also have an obligation of making sure that people can benefit from the ICT out there.
Indeed, you're giving back to the
So
community.
we are working in 45 districts, as shown on this beautiful map. But from what you see is that we are in all regions of this country. Where you see the brown mark.
This one?
Yes. Okay. So in each region, you can find us, you can find our youth. And we are in 1,259 parishes and 1,480 schools, and there's training. Wow. So you can schedule it, you can ask to be trained from there. Even if you're not a youth, there you can train at a fee and learn from our youth.
Wow, amazing. Yes. That brings me to my next question, Doctor. I know your farm didn't just become like this in an overnight, you know. Did you face like any challenges when you were starting up, and how did you overcome those challenges?
No, you are still facing challenges. Even now, they didn't end. But when it comes to farming, first of all, remember we are farming in the city, and that one also poses its own challenge. You have to work with the National Environment Management Authority.
NEMA.
Yes, to be able to get a compliance agreement to work in this area. So that one is also an important job to work with. But after you've done that, you also need to think about workers, and the workers have got to be remunerated. And remember, for us, we are employing professionals who are supposed to be training. You have to pay them in a way that is attractive for them not to be taken away. And you also become a training center for your workers. Yes. So then, once you've done all that, of course, you have to control everything that comes into the farm. One of the reasons we went out of broiler was we had issues with feeds. That time we hadn't organized the value chain properly, and we got feeds, and these feeds were contaminated with aflatoxins. We lost all our birds. Feeds is a big challenge for many farmers. Then we also got a fire.
What?
The pens you have seen are new pens. We had other pens. Of course, we are using wood. Many farmers have wood somewhere in their structures. So the fire was set at around 3 p.m. in the night. We were just lucky that there was no youth in the pen at that time, because they could have been there.
But the birds were there.
Adult section. Yes, the birds were there. We lost about 50,000 birds. Yeah, and now that's why we call upon farmers to consider agricultural insurance. You may not recover 100%, but you recover something, whatever you're doing. So as a farmer, you face different challenges, but since some of these challenges are already known, that's why we try to mitigate them. Markets can be a challenge if you didn't prepare for it. That's why we are saying, link your value chain. Know where you are getting your feeds, know where you are selling your chicken. Early enough before the chicken is ready. Yeah. That's so this is, we train them how to manage a radio.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be an e-radio, it can be a normal radio, but how do you organize yourself on a radio? Okay. Then here we are with our multimedia manager, but who is also our agri-club manager. Okay. And here, this is our recording studio. Okay. And I told you that we are using music to pass on information. We all love dancing. We love listening to some words. But if those words are training you how to raise your chicken properly, what if they are talking about the brooding process and you have the different stanzas, talking about organizing the litter, organizing the warmth, organizing etc. So we are using music. We are dealing with young people. They still love music. It's a medium of communication. And we thought we should find the youth in their comfort zone. Yeah, so that was very key for us.
So how is your department so instrumental in the whole of Gudie Leisure Farm?
Now, the Gudie TV Studios is merged with the ICT lab and the library. Our key role is to ensure that we disseminate information to all youth within the value chain or within our ecosystem. The second thing we do, we ensure that our media is selling the story. I remember some time back we had talked and you said that most times it's the West saying the story of Africa.
Yeah, exactly.
But we want also to give our own story. Can a farmer also talk about themselves professionally? Because what the media will say is farming is bad, coffee, what? But there are other things beyond farming. There is agri-media. what you're doing as an entrepreneur, as an innovator. So lastly, I would say that the key role is to ensure that we have everything in-house, because it's very expensive to hire many things. You get me? The cost of hiring per video, you rather have something in-house, so you have the recording studio, the radio, as you've seen, then the TV studio, there's also a control room, then we have our offices, then behind the ICT lab, then the library. At the end of the day, it comes with one constraint. It comes with having the right people, and I thank my managing director, I thank you for coming here, because it proves, are we serious or we're not serious? So someone who is there, farmers who are there, they can complain about human resource, number one issue. But as you know, we are well enumerated, and even project after project were chosen by the company to keep working. That means a lot.
Okay, thank you for having us in your studio. I like your studios, they look amazing. Modern equipment and everything. I feel like recordings right now something.
We can.
He's in charge of the documentation center.
Is he?
It's a part of the team, yes. We are part of the team in documentation. We are doing manuals, we are doing brochures and the rest.
Okay.
Yes.
How is that important to Leisure Farm, to Gudie Leisure Farm?
It's important to Leisure Farm so that the people are aware of what's happening. Yes, it is important to keep records on the farm so that it can show the figures done and recorded.
Okay, thank you so much for the good job.
Welcome.
So these are offices, Doctor?
Offices, laboratory.
And they look like eco-friendly.
Containers. This is our computer lab where we do the training, and what we have found is for you to be able to learn how to use a computer, it doesn't matter whether you didn't learn, even if you're P7, there is a way the keyboard helps you to learn how to do things you didn't do before. Because we see people making very beautiful fryers, and yet they did not have any education before they joined. So it looks like as we go forward in the digital world, we are going to have a lot of training unknown for people who had chosen not to continue with school. Yeah, so for all, we are on 3 campuses. Our work is in 3 campuses.
You have 3 campuses?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was just here.
No. This is the oldest and
wondering.
the smallest. We have another one in Sinjiro on 60 acres, and then we have one in Ruero on 95 acres. But in each of our campuses, we always have a computer lab, a daycare center, a health facility. Those are a must in each of our places.
So all those campuses, they depict the same pictures?
No, the feed campus focuses on feed technologies. The green campus focuses on herbs and spices, because we finally support the youth that do the final selling. The food must be spiced. I could eat chicken every day, but it has to be in different forms. I can take a sausage in the morning, I take a stew at lunchtime, in the evening I take a roast. I've eaten chicken, but I also took an egg. But if you are preparing it the same way, I think it would be very boring for the eater.
True. So how do you call this campus?
This is the white campus.
White campus, eh? It looks like you pay attention to environment.
Yes, we try, and also have technologies for small spaces, because we know that the people we are working with really have very few spaces. Down there is our clinic and our laboratory. I told you the work that we are doing with the transporters, the ones you would formerly call border riders.
Okay.
These are very important in our value chain.
My border, my pride. Okay.
We actually ran a symposium on borders and motorcycles and what they contribute to the economy. You'll be so surprised how much fuel each border consumes per day. We have close to 3 million borders on the road every day, and they may consume not less than 5 liters of fuel if they are busy. So if all borders were on strike and they didn't take fuel for an entire week, the economy would face that. But when you look at the border riders, these are young people they also have families. They are taking care of other people. So every boda person you see has about 5 people that depend on their life. So we have incorporated the bodas, and for us we call them the youth agripreneur transporters. And they are serving 3 major roles, but we know that they have about 6 important roles. One, they do the job of market intelligence. Okay. They are the ones who support our youth to know who is looking for chicken and even how much is chicken, where. They even know who has a wedding because they are the ones who transport the person taking people to attend the wedding meeting. Then say, it seems so and so will be having a wedding soon. So they are the ones who go and search for the market and say, if you want chicken, I know where to get good chicken from. Then they have an important role of security. They are our live CCTVs. Every thief at one point will use the road and they will find a boda stage. And they're able to tell, they have to be alert all the time. They're able to tell which person they saw carrying chicken. In case at times they call and say, did somebody buy chicken from you? They can know where the person is coming from or the person they are transporting. Then they are also in charge of linking the youth on the value chain. It's not useful for you as a farmer to start moving up and down to town to deliver your chicken. If you are trusting the rider in your community, he can take the chicken for you.
Very true.
And the money will be able to come to your phone. Now there is Momo, there is mobile money, etc. So we are also into tourism in what we do. And actually our tourism will move on motorcycles. So we still rely on the bodas. But we know also that busy people in offices are using bodas for different reasons. A boda is an ambulance.
True.
Yeah, you can say my child is sick and you know that the car will not reach there in time.
Exactly.
And you tell your boda man, please go and pick my child. And that is an ambulance. But a boda person is also a financial donor at some point or a lender without interest. We have called our bodas and said, take for me matoke at home, I'll pay you in the evening. That's a short-term loan.
Yeah.
Without interest. Yes, but they are the ones taking our children to school. We all know that. So we believe they are very important. Of course, they run a very risky life, and being able to train them to protect themselves, give them protective gears, for us is one thing that we are very proud of. We have trained over 50,000 boda riders and ensured that they are protecting themselves. They are in the sun for a long time, they are on the road, they are prone to accidents, but they also have to be careful.
Of course.
And I also said that when you are transporting different things, you care about, if you are transporting a live chicken, it's not the same way you are transporting one that is already dressed. It's not the same way that you are transporting the legs of chicken and the heads of chicken. So I'm happy also we have formed Bridge. Bridge Kampulira is our monitoring, evaluation, research and learning lead. So he's the one who collects information about what is happening. We learn from ourselves. We are a learning organization. We learn from ourselves, and also the different innovations we bring in place. They are able to document and say, okay, you are saying we are feeding with black soldier fly. Does it actually work? If we compare with the other feed that has used this, does it work? So for a farm, it might be very expensive to employ such people, but it's important to research and study yourself. But the good news is that a person like Bridge now, apart from working here, he has a team that supports other farms. We run what we call shared services. They can manage your monitoring, evaluation, research and learning on your farm at a small fee, even when they are here.
Currently, we have ongoing programs here. These projects never end. We are always monitoring. We have different projects under the agriculture, where we have our poultry farming, we have piggery, and aquaculture. I think you have seen the ponds. So these projects are always running, they never end. We keep monitoring to see the profit analysis, but also how the income comes in and goes. And also, we have other special projects that come in from donors that we also implement. Previously, we had one that just ended with Goal Uganda, that it was being implemented for 3 years. So that's one of the projects I think that I have impacted on since I arrived here at Gudie Leisure Farm.
Of course, we recycle everything, water, we clean it with the water hyacinths and other water weeds. And then we get the water hyacinths into the...
So this water comes from?
The bathrooms.
No way.
Yes, it's from the bathroom. Now we are very few people, but if we are all here, we pack all the lagoons. Then it gets out when it's clean. You can even drink it.
That's impressive, Doctor.
Yes.
You've impacted quite a lot of youths, like you mentioned them. Do you have any particular story that you think it was really a story of someone who was from zero to grace?
Those are very many.
Just share one.
Those are very many. I think the person who can come to my mind in terms of poetry is Jasper Okot. Jasper Okot comes from Dokolo. Jasper Okot was a young man who wanted to continue with studies but could not afford. And when he found out about our training, he came and attended.
Just a second. Are these the bodas you give them?
These ones are ours. Yeah.
You train them at the Uganda by their bodas?
Yes, but we have an arrangement with the financial services provider who gives our youth money at zero collateral, no collateral, and at an interest rate of 15%. So the ones we train in riding, they will learn how to ride a bicycle. In some places they are flat, especially if you look at Lango region, Teso region, Acholi as well, and Karamoja to the large extent, they are flat. So we do bicycles, we do motorcycles like that one, but we do the tricycles for heavier carriage. But this is a motorcycle which is insulated that can carry dressed chicken. Yes. Then we go ahead and train. You can have a tricycle which is open to carry the live chicken moving. You can carry the dressed chicken, but you can also run a small restaurant at an event. Where you are roasting your chicken and you open the sides and you are serving, but you also have drinks. So you are all transporters, but you are transporting different items. Then this is the farmer service center. You are still a transporter, but this time you are transporting drinkers, feeders, briquettes for the farmer. Or you are picking certain things, feeds from one place. This is a shop, but a mobile shop. So me as a farmer, I don't have any reason for moving around. I wanted to show you how we use the eggshells, but it's not, I don't know where the key is. Yeah, but we use eggshells. But you wanted to hear about a story. This particular person, Okot, he wanted to continue with school, but he couldn't afford. So he came here for training, learned, and decided to go and do poultry. He started on his own, raising 100 chicks. Then he did so well, he was picked to brood for other people. Started brooding 1,000, 2,000, even up to 10,000. His job is brooding. He actually distributes chicken in the entire Lango region. Yes.
Wow.
So he's in Dokolo, he supplies Rira, Leptong, Otuke, Amoratal, that whole region.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the wife used to be employed, now the wife is also on the farm. If I think about Jasper, in a month he can earn 15 million.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
That's a memory.
These people have bought land, they have now built. The young people, over 60% of the young people that we work with own land in their names. And
They
it is
didn't
from
have that before.
no. And it's from their own farms. They didn't have rich uncles or a dad who died and left you land. No, they bought it themselves. Yes, this is why we call it a transformational journey.
Speaking of transformational journey, as we end our conversation, where do you see Gudie Leisure Farm in 10 years to come?
Now, Gudie Leisure Farm, first in 5 years to come. Beginning next year, we are rolling out our new program of the shared facility.
What's that about?
Yeah, in the shared facility, we have 3 major things to share. One, we are sharing technology. So you could be a youth out there and you have always wanted to make sausages, but you have no machinery and you have no source of chicken. We are saying, come with your brain, come with your interests, come with your attitude. We shall have the facility for you to make your sausages and call them by your name.
Okay.
And sell them wherever you want. So we are targeting that youth that has no land for farming but can add value. So you'll find the technologies available for you. Yes, you can make burgers, whatever you want to make. A loaf of chicken, it's all right. You can make your own eggs, your own cakes, your own everything without necessarily owning any technology. Yes, then of course the services as well. We are supporting some of our youth to be able to have professionals in their businesses. So you can access our accountants, you can access our M&E, you can access our human resource for your farm. So a small farm has no capacity to employ professionals. You can access vet services, agronomical services. That is the shared services. Then we have what we call the shared spaces. We are putting up spaces for you to have an office. Yes, to have your own office and have your own, it's an office and accommodation for you to do your work. And we believe by the year 2030 we shall have about 500 young people that we are hosting, and they have their own offices, they access where to work from, and then they can run their businesses. Then also in the support side of business, we do a lot of hosting of interns, and we believe that we can turn these interns into business support services units where they are paid for every business they are supporting. Yes, yeah. So that's where we are going. But the year 2030 is going to be an exciting year for us. We shall have reached our mark of 1 million youth.
Wow.
And our success will be measured if each of those youth is earning at least 3.6 million per month. Today we already have youth that are earning that, but I'm sure by then the 1 million should be earning that if they follow what we told them to follow, if they follow what the others have followed. Yes.
When you were telling us about one of the reasons why you started this farm was to give back to the community, but also you had checked everything on your life like list. Do you think farming is something which can be used to promote generational wealth in our community?
Yes, definitely farming would do that, only if you take it as a business, not as a by the way. A number of people who are into farming, they have something else which they value more, and then they have farming as a by the way. Farming is a job, it's an office. At times people call me and say, where are you? I say, I'm in my office. They say, where? I say, at the farm. At the farm? Yes, the farm is my office. It is my office. Yeah, so if you are taking it as an office, the way you wake up in the morning, go to your office. Wake up in the morning, come to your farm, have a strategic plan, follow a strategic plan, have KPIs for your workers. Yes, as long as we take it as a business, it will be sustainable and our future generations will also enjoy farming. But we also have to know that as our next generations go to school, they get new ideas which they can infuse into our farming. And they may not necessarily have to do the digging. But they can be the ones that are now working with probably the indigenous vegetables, because we do indigenous vegetables that we use to feed the animals, but we also have the surplus that we use to make snacks, like bagia. What other products that can come from the vegetable? Can they make a peel? Can they make a tablet? Can they make a powder that we can mix in the feeds? So taking the farming to the next level. So the next generation must look at the weaknesses that our generation has, the things that we are missing out, the opportunities that we are not seeing, guided by research to take us to the next level. That's when it's going to be generational.
Okay, and that's a wrap on our interesting conversation with Dr. Gudula Naiga Basaza. And of course, I'm not going to repeat anything, but what I have learned from the conversation I've had with Doctor is the fact that you don't have to give up on life. There is always something you can start with, and there is somewhere you can start with. All you have to do is look for information. She has told you they are almost spread all over the country. Go find your agriculture officers and find out where can you fix yourself, and so that you are able to transform your life as a youth, but also a woman too. Don't be vulnerable there. I mean, don't be so vulnerable to the extent of begging, yet you can do something for yourself. That's one take I've gotten from the conversation I've had with Dr. Gudula. And of course, you can follow their programs on Good TV, follow them. They have Good FM and Good TV on YouTube channel, but Bob is also running a YouTube channel. You can link up with him on his YouTube channel. But there is also talent here. I know she mentioned it a bit, like music and all that, but she's promoting talent. If you're a singer and you gave up on singing, maybe this can be your chance. But it also, you have to have information on how you can get recruited in her trainings. When you hear Gudie Leisure Farm, you might imagine you're coming here to dance or what, but I like the kind of leisure which is here. It's beneficial leisure, you know, not like those other agrotourism farms I've visited. This is different. It's quite unique, yeah, because the entire process is about transforming someone's life. And that's what our YouTube channel, Call Me Firdaus, is about. Plant ideas and harvest results. See you in the next video.